killed. It wasn't just about him, the Southside Crips snatching his chain at the mall. Suge was screwing one of the Southside Crips females. And all that beef just compiled on top of each other. And Pac ended up in the middle. Do I really feel like they was trying to kill Tupac? No. They was trying to get to Suge.
Tracy, hi, you're on Hot 97.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fine.
Okay, you got a comment?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
My comment is that I just don't understand how it was 15 cars and no one seen what happened. And how you move with no bodyguards and Suge Knight know that he had 3 contracts out in his life and you move with no bodyguards.
Well, there's a lot of questions, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more about that in the days and weeks to come. I want to thank you very much for the call, Tracy. Let's try Nate.
I believe that Suge Knight knew something. I believe it because how can somebody be in your ride and you don't see anything? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, there are people who will say, well, that's being said because this will be taken care of in some other way outside of, police and courts and arrest procedures and all of that.
That doesn't make any sense. That's just more violence. That's why Tupac's not with us today. So it's more violence. Okay. From what I gathered, they said Suge Knight had a hit out on him. Usually, Suge Knight has a chauffeur, and he's sitting on the passenger side, and Tupac is sitting in the back. So, from what I believe Tupac took his bullet. The bullet that was meant for Suge Knight, and Suge Knight knew what he was doing. That's why he's not talking.
How did Tupac catch all that heat and Suge only got nicked? And he's 4 times bigger than this nigga. He's a much bigger target. Tupac could have dodged them bullets. It's not adding up.
Then you got Pac, nigga. Let's tell the truth about it. When Pac tried to get in the back seat, you held that in the middle console with your right forearm and let that be a shield to catch them bullets. Let's talk about what you laughed at me about. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Everybody that was there is at fault because Tupac's supposed to have been treated as an artist, not one of the homies. And that's what got him killed. He was acting as if he was one of us, and he was not. And Suge is the main one at fault because he should have told everybody. Under no circumstances do y'all allow him to do anything.
I mean, we was all riding with Pac, whatever, whatever, say so, once we crew, we all crew, wrong or right. But then when motherfuckers start getting killed, and they didn't kill you, but your own people killed you, advise you and all that. So you really got to start thinking what's really going on around you. You know what I'm saying?
What you mean by his own people killed?
I mean, niggas that you hang around. Hanging around death row, you think you the top gangbanger, you socking niggas in the mouth and doing all that crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even supposed to be doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Especially another nigga coming to you telling you, hey, yo, Big Mighty just slapped the shit out of you. You know what I mean? And then you go over there when security supposed to be going, this ain't even your fight. But didn't know the nigga that you hit is a stone cold killer. You know what I mean? And that's why I told you, don't let the gangbanging get between us. Coming from my end or anybody else's end. It's easy to get sucked up in this shit by ego. He put his trust into too many people, you know what I'm saying? For validation, Big nigga killed 100 niggas, that's my homie. You know what I mean? So you put your trust in a lot of people and you should put trust in yourself. He didn't have no reason to go to Vegas. Should want him to go to Vegas. We would stay at home doing music like we was doing, But if he wouldn't have went to Vegas, he'd be right here. Remember, he was M.O.B.
So Tupac, he got jumped in when it came to the Bloods?
Oh yeah, he was from the mob. He was M.O.B. You can't say M.O.B. if you ain't M.O.B.
Did Pac get put on mob?
Yeah, he did.
See what I'm saying?
What was it like for him getting put on?
What'd you say?
How many fades did he have to run?
That's Cam Capone. He asked you.
Shit, that phone had run a country.
What label, Death Row? Yeah. No. Let me say this. 2 weeks before we went to Vegas, Pac was on the phone, foaming at his mouth, veins busting out his neck, his head, threatened to blow up Death Row studio. He was fussing about his music. He wanted his masters.
Tupac was done with Death Row. You know, he had fired Kenner, the lawyer. He was really on his way out.
He had fulfilled his obligation, and that wasn't his plan to be there that long.
Spent the last 3 weeks of his life on a one-note crusade. Suge, I want to see an accounting of my money. And that's basically where Tupac was at the time that he died.
They understood that this man was just a money maker.
A week before Tupac's death, he fired David Kenner, and people said publicly that's going to get him killed. Because Suge had appointed Kenner to run Tupac's business. And that was when Suge had this accountant, Steve Cantrock, who was working with him to cook the books. Suge tried to hide the money he owed Tupac. His claim was, you know, I've paid that out to you and your family and hotel bills and meals, and that, you know, you've gotten that money. But the numbers don't add up. Suge owed Tupac a lot of money.
I got this phone call from Yasmin Fula, and she said, hey, Frank, I'm coming down to a Gridlock. Don't you and Kevin leave because I need to talk to the two of you. So, you know, probably 30 minutes later, she shows up, and she goes, hey, there's some things going on over at the Death Row office. Pac is called an audit on the Death Row office. Now, this was the first time I had ever heard anything about an audit, obviously, because she came down to tell us this story about, you know, the audit going on. And her main thing was that she wanted us to pay, like, a little bit more closer attention to Pac, watch him a little bit closer, because she wasn't sure of the repercussions of this audit.
The songs I made with Pac was why he was here, you know. You know, what he did it well, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to disrespect that or, you know, even touch those archives, because that's what he did it well. He was who he was, and he did it well. So you won't see me doing no Tupac remakes or trying to bring a song I did with him when he was alive out, because I don't believe in that, because if his mama not making the money, nobody should make the money off of the project. And, you know, a lot of people get in the situation misconstrued by doing his music and not paying his mama and paying Suge, when his mom should be getting the money. Suge made enough money off of all of us to where he shouldn't get a dime off of Tupac. You know, he was robbing him already.
We wondered if this document had anything to do with it. After a concert at Universal Studios, Snoop Dogg was attacked, kicked and punched by people working for Death Row. When asked by one of the deputies if he knew who had killed Tupac Shakur, Snoop said it was the man sitting next to Tupac. When asked if he meant Suge Knight, Snoop replied affirmatively.
Check out this audio from Snoop saying that the reason why Tupac got killed is because he chose sides. I want to get your opinion on it.
I kind of agree with him, and I'm going to tell you why. You know what I mean? People might not understand, because it was like Pac was representing the blood gang at the end. Some people might say he wasn't. Some people might say no, but Pac was doing songs MOB, even though he was saying it means something else. He had an MOB ring, MOB tattooed on him. He would say something that it seemed like he was taking shots. I don't even want to go into deep, because if people didn't catch it, they don't got to catch it. It ain't that serious, you know what I mean? But I kind of see, but then I see another side of Pac where I didn't see him on that gangbang and stuff. But people from LA who was born and raised in it looked at him like he picked a side. So if he did pick a side, I'm going to go back to what Snoop said. I would agree with him on that. If he did pick a side, it probably was something that wasn't wise to do, because you got to understand, like, I agree with what he said. Like, when you pick a side, you just basically taking on inherited beef, because now they're not going to look at him like, because everybody love Pac. Bloods, Crips, Mexicans. But if a Crip started thinking you picking a side to a blood, on being a blood, then you might have unnecessary hatred. So I get where you're coming from on that. Have I ever seen Pac, like, you know what I mean, straight gangbang? No. But people felt he picked the side being the blood at the end, or being close to Suge homies and Pyru at the end, because it is what it is.
Biggie would have been a Death Row artist, because that's how talented he was. And I would have pursued him as an artist, because I felt I could have gave him a bigger deal. And I wouldn't have been in his videos. So I think he was an incredible artist. Just think,
Tupac and Biggie, it never was no real feud. They might have had words before, but I know I could have molded them back to being great friends.
Diddy hated Tupac really, really bad to the core. First of all, Diddy thought Tupac was taking his friend, his protege, Biggie Smalls, away from him. Diddy was jealous over that. And remember, Tupac had all the ladies after him, you know what I'm saying? If you remember when Diddy, before he got his teeth did, he had that buck mouth. He had like a horse mouth, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Pac had a couple teeth on him, but he knew how to walk, you know what I'm saying? He knew how to carry himself. He had a lot of charisma with him. Diddy did not like that, bro. Diddy did not like that. And Diddy also wanted to do business with Pac. Pac was like, nah, I don't rock with you.
What's up? I want to thank everyone that been supporting the channel. And if you new here, welcome to the channel. Lately, we've been doing some deep dives, basically using people's own words. So these videos are not opinion based. These videos are for educational purposes. Far as the Pac situation, I don't trust anyone that was around him. I think everybody suspects. I remember Suge was the main suspect once upon a time, and this video makes me wonder if we let him off the hook too fast. If he really was stealing from Pac and Pac called for audit, I think Suge possibly had a motive. I'm not saying Suge guilty, but I want to know what y'all think. Hit the comments, let's talk about. Thanks for watching the video. I have more coming soon, so make sure you stay tapped in. Catch you on the next one. Peace.